Sarah Ferguson heard something different in Diana's voice when she answered the phone. "Fergie, I think I'm going crazy," she had whispered. "Charles makes me feel like everything is my fault. Am I really that impossible?" Sarah was immediately alert. Her best friend couldn't recognize the gaslighting. "Diana, that's not normal," she said with a firm voice. "Healthy relationships don't make you question your sanity." That night, Sarah, Rosa Monckton, and Julia Samuel organized a secret meeting. They were forming an underground support network to save Diana from psychological manipulation. But what they didn't yet know was that this friendship circle would completely open Diana's eyes and form the foundation of her ultimate resistance against the royal family control system. And the power of female solidarity had begun a David versus Goliath battle against centuries-old manipulation techniques. In 1987, Diana was in despair. Charles's systematic cultural campaign had turned her into an emotional wreck. Every day brought a new educational activity, every week another proper behavior lesson. Diana felt stupid, inadequate, culturally inferior. But Diana's female friends had a different perspective. Sarah Ferguson, Rosa Monckton, Julia Samuel, Lucia Flecha de Lima, all independent, intelligent women who could see what Diana couldn't. Systematic psychological abuse. Sarah Ferguson was the first to notice the red flags. At lunch, Diana was constantly apologizing, constantly second-guessing herself, constantly asking, "Am I being unreasonable?" Diana's confidence had been completely shattered. Diana," Sarah said carefully, "you're apologizing for having preferences. That's not normal." Diana was confused. "But Charles says I need to develop better taste, more sophisticated understanding." Sarah was alarmed. "Diana, there's nothing wrong with your taste. You don't need to be fixed." But Diana was resistant. "You don't understand royal life. There are standards, expectations." Sarah realized an intervention was needed. Diana was so deep in gaslighting that she couldn't recognize the manipulation. Rosa Monckton noticed different warning signs. Diana's social isolation was increasing. Fewer friends, fewer independent activities, everything filtered through Charles's approval. "Where are all your fun friends?" Rosa asked during a rare coffee meeting. Diana was defensive. "Charles thinks they're not suitable for someone in my position. He's probably right." Rosa was shocked. "Diana, healthy partners don't eliminate your friendships. They support them." Diana struggled. "But Charles says I need better influences, more cultured companions." Rosa realized Diana was being systematically isolated from her support network, a classic control technique. Julia Samuel, a psychotherapist, approached the problem professionally. Diana's language patterns, self-doubt expressions, constant self-blame, all indicators of psychological manipulation. "Diana," Julia said gently, "healthy relationships build your confidence. They don't destroy it." Diana was breaking down. "But I am difficult, Julia. I am uncultured. Charles is trying to help me become a better person." Julia recognized the gaslighting. "Diana, improvement doesn't require breaking someone's spirit first." Each friend was seeing a different piece of the manipulation puzzle. Together, a complete picture was emerging. Lucia Flecha de Lima, the Brazilian ambassador's wife, brought a valuable cultural outsider perspective. She could see the royal psychological patterns clearly because she wasn't normalized to them. "In healthy families," Lucia explained, "people support each other's authentic selves. They don't systematically remake each other." Diana protested. "But the royal family is different. Higher standards." Lucia was firm. No family should make you feel ashamed of who you are. The friends began coordinating. Secret phone calls, private meetings, careful observations. They were building a case for Diana's psychological well-being. Sarah organized the first intervention lunch. Rosa, Julia, and Lucia were invited. The topic: Diana's mental health. "We're worried about you," Sarah began directly. "You've changed. You're anxious, self-doubting, constantly apologizing." Diana was defensive. "I'm learning, growing, becoming more appropriate." Julia was therapeutic. "Diana, growth builds on strengths. It doesn't eliminate them. What you're describing sounds like conditioning, not development." Rosa was practical. "Healthy partners celebrate your authentic self. They don't systematically critique and reconstruct it." Diana was tearful but resistant. "You don't understand the pressure I'm under." "The requirements of my position." Lucia offered an outsider perspective. "Diana, I know many powerful couples worldwide. None of the healthy ones operate this way." The friends realized Diana was so conditioned, she couldn't recognize the abnormal treatment. A more strategic approach was needed. But what was truly shocking was that the friends began documenting Diana's manipulation experience and completely exposing the systematic nature of the royal family. Julia knew from her professional training, victims need external validation to recognize abuse. She started a systematic documentation process. "Diana," Julia said, "I want you to keep a journal. Write down interactions that make you feel bad about yourself." Diana was reluctant. "That seems negative." Julia explained, "Patterns become clear when written down. Just try for 1 week." 1 week later, Diana was shocked by her own journal. Page after page of criticism, cultural education demands, approval withdrawal, social restrictions. "I didn't realize how constant it was," Diana admitted tearfully. Julia was validating. "This level of systematic criticism isn't normal, Diana. It's psychologically harmful." Meanwhile, Rosa was researching healthy relationship patterns. She compared Diana's marriage to functional partnerships among their mutual friends. "Look at Anne and Mark," Rosa pointed out. "Different interests, different backgrounds, but Mark celebrates Anne's personality. He doesn't try to remake her." Diana was considering, "But royal marriages are different." Rosa challenged, "Why should royal marriages be less healthy than ordinary ones?" Sarah used her own marriage for comparison. Andrew and Sarah had conflicts, but underlying respect and acceptance were present. "Andrew thinks I'm loud and unconventional," Sarah laughed. "But he married me for those qualities, not despite them." Diana was wistful. "Charles married me, but now wants me to become someone else entirely." Sarah was validating. "That's not fair to you, Diana. You deserve someone who loves you as you are." Lucia provided an international perspective. She personally knew royal couples worldwide. "Healthy royal couples work as teams," Lucia explained. "Different strengths, complementary styles. But mutual respect is essential." Diana was beginning to see the pattern. Her friends' relationships had conflict, but not systematic psychological warfare. The friends decided professional backup was needed. Julia arranged a consultation with a leading marriage counselor, confidentially. "What you're describing," the counselor confirmed, "shows signs of systematic emotional manipulation, gaslighting, isolation tactics, approval conditioning." Diana was shocked. "But Charles says he's helping me improve." The counselor was educating. "Healthy improvement builds on existing strengths. It doesn't require destroying someone's identity first." The friends felt validated. but also alarmed. Diana's situation was worse than they'd realized. Rosa began strategic resistance planning. Diana, you need to start setting boundaries. Small ones, gradually. Diana was frightened. Charles won't accept boundaries. Rosa was firm. Healthy people accept reasonable boundaries, but unhealthy people fight them. Sarah suggested a tactical approach. Choose one area where you won't compromise. Test his reaction. Diana was tentative. Like what? Julia provided therapeutic guidance. Something important to your authentic self. Your natural interests, your friendships, your parenting style. Diana was considering, I could insist on some time with my own friends. The friends were encouraging. That's a reasonable request. A healthy partner would support it. This was exactly when everything changed. Because when Diana began her boundary-setting experiment, Charles's reaction exactly confirmed the friends' predictions. The manipulation techniques were escalated. Diana requested 1 evening per week with friends, no royal duties. Charles's response was immediate and severe. Your friends are unsuitable influences, Charles declared. They don't understand your responsibilities. They're making you difficult. Diana was surprised by the intensity of the resistance. The friends had predicted this exact response. Charles escalated the pressure. Choose between your frivolous friendships and your royal duties. You cannot have both. Diana called Julia, shaken. He's making me choose, just like you said he would. Julia was confirming. Healthy partners don't force those choices, Diana. They find compromises. Charles increased his manipulation tactics. Cultural superiority arguments, royal responsibility pressure, guilt about neglecting duties. Diana was documenting everything in the journal the friends had suggested. The patterns were becoming undeniable. Sarah analyzed Charles's responses. Classic control technique. Force an impossible choice, then blame you for the conflict. Rosa gave practical advice. Don't make the choice yet. Test other boundaries. See if the pattern continues. Diana experimented. She requested input on the children's education. Charles dismissed her opinions immediately. You lack the educational background to make these decisions, Charles stated coldly. The friends were horrified when Diana reported this interaction. Lucia was outraged. Diana, mothers have natural authority over their children's well-being. No partner should dismiss that. Julia provided therapeutic insight. He's systematically undermining your confidence in every area. Parenting, friendships, personal preferences, cultural knowledge. Diana was beginning to see the comprehensive nature of the manipulation. Not isolated incidents, a systematic campaign. The friends provided reality checks constantly. Phone calls, emergency meetings, constant validation of Diana's perceptions. You're not going crazy, Sarah repeated regularly. Your reactions are normal responses to abnormal treatment. Rosa documented healthy relationship examples. Look at other couples we know. Disagreement, yes. Systematic undermining, no. Julia provided professional language. This is called gaslighting, Diana, making you question your own perceptions and judgment. Lucia offered cultural perspective. In healthy partnerships worldwide, people maintain individual identities while building a shared life. The friends' consistent validation was slowly rebuilding Diana's confidence in her own perceptions. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet, because the friends didn't just provide Diana with emotional support. They also gave her practical escape planning and legal documentation assistance. Rosa's legal background made her aware of the importance of documentation for potential future proceedings. She started systematic evidence collection. Diana, keep records of everything, Rosa advised. Dates, witnesses, specific incidents may be needed later. Diana was reluctant. That feels like preparing for war. Rosa was realistic. Diana, you're already in a war. You're just not fighting back yet. Julia arranged private therapy sessions for Diana. Professional help was essential for recovering from systematic psychological abuse. Therapy will help you rebuild confidence in your own judgment, Julia explained. It'd be essential for making independent decisions. Sarah provided practical support, a secret phone line, emergency meeting locations, financial planning advice. If you ever need immediate help, Sarah assured, we have systems in place. Lucia offered international perspective and connections. If geographic separation ever becomes necessary, you have options. The friends' comprehensive support was giving Diana the courage to resist manipulation more effectively. Diana started setting more boundaries. I will not cancel friendships. I will not eliminate all independent activities. I will not accept constant criticism. Charles's responses became increasingly desperate. Threats, ultimatums, emotional blackmail. Your friends are turning you against me, Charles accused. Diana was stronger now. My friends are helping me recognize unreasonable treatment. Charles was escalating. Choose, them or me. Diana was confident. A healthy marriage doesn't require choosing between spouse and friendships. The friends coached Diana through each confrontation. Phone support, strategic advice, emotional validation. You're doing incredibly well, Julia encouraged. Standing up to systematic manipulation takes enormous courage. Rosa was practical. Each boundary you maintain makes the next one easier. Sarah showed fierce loyalty. We're with you every step of this journey. Lucia offered wisdom. You're not just saving yourself, you're modeling healthy boundaries for your children. Diana's resistance was inspiring her friends too. They realized their own relationships needed examination. Helping you made me look at my own marriage differently, Sarah admitted. Andrew and I have problems, but not this level of psychological warfare. Rosa was reflecting. It's shown me how valuable female friendship is. We need each other's perspectives. Julia provided professional insight. This kind of support network is essential for anyone escaping psychological abuse. Wait a minute, don't miss this detail. Because Diana's friends didn't just help in the immediate crisis, they also began developing a long-term liberation strategy. The friends realized Diana needed a comprehensive exit strategy, not just emotional support, practical planning for independence, Rosa's legal connections, discreet consultation with divorce attorneys, asset protection advice, custody rights information. You don't have to use this information, Rosa assured, but knowledge is power. Julia's therapeutic planning, trauma recovery resources, children's counseling options, ongoing psychological support systems, Sarah's royal connections, understanding protocols for separation, media management strategies, public relations guidance. When the time comes, Sarah promised, you'll be prepared. Lucia's international network, potential safe havens, global support systems, alternative perspectives on royal obligations. The friends were creating a comprehensive support structure Diana had never imagined possible. Diana was amazed by the depth of loyalty. I never knew friendship could be so powerful. Julia offered wisdom. Female solidarity has historically been essential for women escaping controlling situations. Rosa was practical. We're not just friends anymore. We're your advisory council. Sarah was fierce. And we're not going anywhere. Lucia was profound. This is what real love looks like. Support, not control. The friends' network was expanding. Other women were recognizing similar patterns, seeking advice. Diana was becoming a resource for others. My experience might help someone else recognize manipulation earlier. Julia was facilitating. Survivors often become healers. It's a natural progression. Rosa was coordinating. We could develop support systems for other women in similar situations. Sarah used her royal connections. Even within royal circles, other women might need this kind of help. Lucia thought internationally. Women worldwide face these patterns. Your visibility could inspire change. Diana's liberation was becoming a model for others. The friends were realizing broader impact was possible. We're not just saving one marriage, Rosa realized. We're challenging an entire system of relationship control. Julia was professionally excited. This could revolutionize how we support women in psychological abuse situations. Sarah was thinking strategically. Diana's public platform could educate millions about these patterns. Lucia was building cultural bridges. The international women's movement could learn from this approach. Diana felt purpose beyond personal survival. If my pain can help other women recognize manipulation earlier, then it has meaning. The friend's support was enabling not just escape, but transformation into an advocate. Now you've seen nothing. Because the support system provided by Diana's friends didn't just solve the immediate marriage crisis, but also laid the foundation for the modern women's psychological liberation movement. Diana's successful resistance to royal psychological control, enabled by her female friendship network, became a template for women worldwide. The key elements the friends provided: external perspective, reality validation, systematic documentation, professional resources, practical planning, emotional support, strategic guidance, long-term vision. What we learned, Julia reflected years later, is that psychological abuse thrives in isolation. Female friendship breaks that isolation. Rosa's legal insight: having witnesses, documentation, a support network makes escape possible. Women alone rarely succeed against systematic manipulation. Sarah's royal perspective: even the most privileged women need female solidarity. Power, wealth, status don't protect against psychological control. Lucia's cultural wisdom: this pattern is universal. The same techniques are used worldwide to control women. The same support systems are needed everywhere. Diana's experience inspired the creation of support networks globally. Women were recognizing manipulation patterns, forming solidarity groups, providing mutual aid for escape from controlling relationships. Diana's courage, the friends agreed, showed what's possible when women support each other completely. Modern domestic violence organizations adopted the Friends model: comprehensive support addressing emotional, practical, legal, financial, and psychological needs. Diana's Liberation Network proved that female friendship is an essential tool for challenging systematic oppression. Years later, Diana reflected on her friends' role. Without them, I would have accepted Charles's version of reality. I would have believed I was the problem. The friends were proud of their collective achievement. We didn't save Diana. We helped her save herself. Julia's professional conclusion: this is how psychological liberation works, not individual therapy alone, but community support challenging abusive narratives. Rosa's practical wisdom: women need each other's perspectives to recognize what normal looks like. Sarah's loyal friendship: Diana deserved people who saw her worth when she couldn't see it herself. Lucia's cultural bridge: female solidarity transcends nationality, class, status. It's a universal need, Universal power. Diana's story demonstrated female friendship as political act, psychological intervention, liberation strategy. You won't believe it. But Diana's Secret Allies story isn't just a personal rescue mission, but also a universal template for women recognizing and escaping psychological manipulation through female solidarity. Every woman facing systematic control needs what Diana's friends provided: external perspective, reality validation, practical support, emotional strength, strategic planning, long-term vision. Key lessons from the Allies' approach: trust, female intuition, document patterns, seek professional help, maintain friendships despite partners' objections, develop comprehensive escape planning, support other women facing similar situations. Diana's friends proved that female solidarity is more powerful than individual resistance. Collective wisdom, shared resources, mutual support enable escape from even the most sophisticated psychological control. Modern women can learn from Diana's allies. Recognize manipulation signs in friends' relationships. Provide validation and support. Connect women with professional resources. Help with practical planning. Maintain loyalty throughout the liberation process. Female friendship networks are essential for challenging systems designed to isolate and control women. Diana's Allies model shows the path forward: a transformation from isolation to solidarity, an evolution from manipulation recognition to liberation support, a change from individual struggle to collective resistance, a foundation for modern women's empowerment. The legacy of Diana's Allies' wisdom. The victory power of female solidarity. The strength of psychological liberation through friendship. The life-saving courage of support networks. This is the inspiring end of a perfect modern sisterhood lesson. And so the story of Diana's Secret Allies comes to an end. A journey from psychological manipulation to female solidarity. An evolution from individual isolation to collective support. A transformation from systematic control to comprehensive liberation. An inspiration for modern women's empowerment. The legacy of Diana's Allies' wisdom. The proof of female friendship's power. The victory of sisterhood's liberation. The triumph of support networks' courage. This is the empowering end of a perfect female solidarity lesson.